What up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back. So it's not looking up for Quavo. Quavo is in grave danger right now. It just hasn't been the same. We all know Migos and we all know the level that they were at and what they were doing, the things that they had going on, the noise they were making in the industry. If you remember the time where Migos was popping. They had everything going on. I'm talking about that was the group. That was the star group at a time. And it seems like they haven't been able to get that motion going and get that thing that they had back. And it may be because of the split. Quavo and Offset, they were going through their thing. It may be because of the whole thing with Takeoff. You never know. It's hard to get that thing back, but it's just never been the same. And I'm seeing things come out with Quavo. They're saying that Quavo is in a huge debt right now with the IRS. He has not been able to pay. He owes the IRS about $3 million. He has not been able to pay for whatever reason. And it's tough to see this because again, Migos was all about getting money. They was known for having the money, having the jewelry, having the clothes, having the cars. You know what I'm saying? So to see this right now is tough. It happens. We all go through it. We all get to that with them times where it's tough. And I'm sure that at that level, you got car notes, you got house notes, probably paying this person's house note. You probably got this business expense. So it goes through the best of it. It goes to the best, hits the best of us. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, you got to pay your shit. You got to. You got to pay your shit. And me, I hate paying the IRS. You know what I'm saying? I hate that shit. It's nothing good about it. But it's one of those things that it has to be done. So if you have not heard, if you have not seen this, the IRS says Quavo owes $3 million in back taxes. Rapper Quavo allegedly failed to pay a massive seven-figure tax bill, and now the IRS has hit him with a massive lien over the unpaid amounts. TMZ has learned. According to docs filed in January, Uncle Sam hit Quavo, legal name Quavius Marshall, with a federal tax lien for money they say he owed for 3 separate years. The IRS claims Quavo owes $915,660 for 2021, another $887,486 for 2022, and another $1,109 $0.79 for 2023, bringing his total debt to 29 damn 2.9 2.9644 and 33 cent. God damn. The tax lien comes months after Offset, Quavo's Migos Quavo's Migos bandmate, paid off his own seven-figure debt with the IRS in December 2025. The IRS released a lien after saying the rapper owed 1.526673 for the year 2022. So it's not looking too good for Quavo right now. But like I said, man, we go through it, man. I think that after the split, to me, that's just what I see. Because remember, at a time, Migos was everywhere. Migos was the go-to group. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you look at QC. If you're not familiar with QC, QC is quality control. That's their label, the label that they're assigned to. With P, I want to see. I'm gonna see what artists they had on that were all on a QC quality control artists. So on QC, so it's founded in 2013 by Kevin Coach K. So when y'all hear Coach K, that's one of the heads. Pierre P. Everybody talks about P as well. That's another one of the heads. Prominent Atlanta-based hip-hop label and managed company known for propelling artists like Migos, Lil Baby, Lil Yachty, and City Girls. And I think that all of them had they run, right? At a time, City Girls was the ones, right? At a time, Lil Yachty was the one. At a time, Migos was the one. And obviously now, today, 2026, Lil Baby is the guy. You know what I'm saying? So, you got a lot of successful artists over there. So QC obviously know what they doing. They obviously, push their artists. But I think that there was some back and forth between, I believe, Quavo and Offset and I want to say P. I don't know if it was Coach K, but I know it was P. I think that there was a back and forth with them. Let me see. Quavo, Quavo, QC beef. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So this was 3 years ago. So Offset sues former label Quality Control. Okay, so because I know there was a lot of back and forth between the label and them, which is partly the reason a lot of stuff came out where um Young Thug was talking about how P was getting over on a lot of the artists, whether he was getting over on Lil Baby, he was getting over on Quavo, Offset, the Migos in general. It was like a whole thing. Offset sues former label Quality Control, says it doesn't own his solo music. Got it. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, so I'm sure that this split, has a lot to do with him not being able to cover those taxes. And it's not to make an excuse for it, but it's just to be real. Again, when you're moving at a certain level and you're making a certain amount of money, that comes with certain bills. You know what I'm saying? So you start to say, well, shit, I'm making, I don't know, $1 million a month. You start to get $1 million a month type of bills. You know what I mean? And when the money slow up, it's like, what do you do? You know what I mean? When the money slow up, what do you truly do? Do you say to yourself, hey, well, I gotta just start dumping everything, or do you try to keep everything going? And again, it happens. I've been through this shit myself, like, obviously at a smaller level, but I've been through this shit myself where you making a certain amount of money, you think you can keep this car note and keep that car note and keep this and that, and you look up, you're like, damn, like I'm drowning. So that's why I say it happens to the best of us, but it's one of those things where it's not looking up, because $3 million that's starting to get heavy. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. But at the end of the day, I think that Quavo would definitely, find his way out of this. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to hold him down. But it is what it is. So I think all of the stuff, and I'm looking at this beef right now where it was, Quavo updates Migos and Quality Control beef. Quavo says everything is cool with Quality Control after the drama this summer. And again, this is old, but I'm going back over it because, again, I'm sure this is part of the slowdown. The Migos have been the main attraction from Quality Control for a while, and despite the roster growing, include Lil Yachty, Lil Baby, City Girls, Stefflon Don, and more. The three-man group will always be brought up in conversation when QC is involved. This summer, we saw the relationship get strained between Quavo and Offset. I remember this. Quavo Offset, this when Takeoff was still alive, and their label Quality Control. The group sued their lawyer in July, claiming that Quality Control finessed them out of millions. Mm. P, the head of Quality Control, hit back at them by saying that he has created so many opportunities for the Migos that he was disappointed that their relationship had to come to this. After a few months had passed, it looks like Quavo has repaired the Migos' ties to QC. posing for a new picture at the label headquarters and making things clear in this caption. I mean, the tough thing about it is that you see that with a lot of people, right? Where he was like, "Look, P was saying I'm like disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm disappointed because these are some young dudes that I took from the hood. You know what I mean? And we all was coming up together, and I created so many opportunities for you. And it is tough. It's a tough conversation because that happens a lot. Where think about the Birdman and Lil Wayne situation, right? Lil Wayne came up under Birdman. Birdman pretty much raised Lil Wayne, right? So fast forward, he has all this success, mostly off of Birdman. Why? Because it takes money to be put into your career for it to blossom. It just doesn't happen randomly, right? So you look at they beef. This is a dude that Birdman took under his wing like a son, put him in all type of rooms, put money in his pocket. He then gets bigger, and then it's like, well, shit, you low key owe me money because now you're around different lawyers, you're around people that understand the music industry at a different level than you. So now you're like, well, damn, I didn't know that I was supposed to get this or get that. I didn't know that, I was owed this and that. Now you're looking at these things. I think that that situation is this same situation where I think Migos got bigger, Quavo got bigger, Offset got bigger, rest in peace, Takeoff, he got bigger, and they start to see like, damn, bro, like you was supposed to give me a split on this, you was supposed to give me a split on that, you was supposed to give me a percentage on this, and these are things that you never said nothing about. But I'm sure P and Coach are like, nigga, this is the business side of it, right? At the end of the day, I'm still putting my money up. I'm trying to recoup as much as I can, So it's always a back and forth between artists and between label. It always happens. That shit never truly fails. That shit never truly fails. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think that's such a norm that it's like it's one of them things that it happens. But within that, I think that that's the reason, right? So with all that being said, I think that's the exact reason why you see him saying, "Hey, I don't have. Hey, I can't pay these taxes. Hey, well, I'm short of money because of the fact that I'm not making what I was making at that time." You know what I'm saying? We took a crazy dip. Remember, they was coming out with music all the time. They was known as the guys. You take the label away, you take structure away, you take the fact that Takeoff, passed away. You put all of that. I'm sure you're not making the same amount of money. And on top of that, Quavo and Offset was beefing. So you're not gonna make the same money you was making. It's not gonna happen. So to me, that's why I think that he's in his debt. But at the end of the day, it happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens to the best of us. So the fact of the matter is that he got to just tighten his game back up and get right back on it. You know what I mean? I think Quavo is very capable. We've already seen what he did, what he could do. We already seen what the Migos could do. So I don't see them being one of them groups that's like, I'm just gonna be out here fucked up. I don't see that. I don't see that with them. Rest in peace, Takeoff. I don't see that with Offset. I don't see that with Quavo. I just don't see it in a character to me. And I don't know them personally, but I can just tell, Hustler, the Hustler, I can tell what type of nigga he is. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, again, I think I think it's just a matter of him getting back on track, man. But I'll definitely keep y'all updated regardless as it unfolds. I think this is a small setback for a major comeback. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Shout out my nigga Kev, man, in the background, man. We here, man. As always, I appreciate the love and support. Appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and catch you on the next one.